Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel?
Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
All right, good day, tokers and tokettes, and welcome to the weekend. Woohoo! It's Friday the 13th, and we're heading into the weekend with nowhere to go. That's right, I'm actually home for the next couple of weeks, but in 2 weeks away, is it 2 weeks away now? Oh my God, I guess it is. 2 weeks away, we got the Cannabis Cup taking place in Santa Rosa, California, and we'll give you more information on that as we get closer to that date. Herb Thrasher will be traveling down there with me to Santa Rosa as well. Looking forward to that. Uh-oh. That's right, folks. It's Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees lurks somewhere. Oh, man, I'm old enough I remember when that movie first came out, the first one. Not the reboot or anything like that, right? One thing I learned from the Friday the 13th series is that if you are a teenager out at camp and you're about to get to second base, you're going to die. Hope you're having a good Friday the 13th out there. I hope I don't have any triskaidekaphobias out there. Tridecaphobia? Triskaidekaphobia? I forget what it's called. Fear of the number 13? I fear no number. Anyway, that's the Friday the 13th theme. I thought it was appropriate for the day. And great news all over the place this week in marijuana reform. I'm so excited about New Approach Oregon right now. Really thrilled that we're approaching $1 million raised so far in the campaign, thanks to the latest $250,000 donation from the new PAC that was formed by some of the family members of the late Peter Lewis. His sons, his uncle, and his ex-wife formed this PAC, and it's got a bunch of other people contributing to it as well. Legalization's getting a big boost in Oregon, and it couldn't come any sooner. I mean, we've got about 3 weeks left. Let me see. I guess it's 3 weeks left of signature gathering. In fact, 2 weeks from next Thursday is the final turn-in date of July 3rd. And that's when we'll know whether or not, we won't know that day. That's the final turn-in day. And then I think they've got a month to count them and verify them and all that. So this extra money coming in just means more signature gatherers. You know, as I was talking to Anthony Johnson from New Approach Oregon, he was telling me that they've pretty much done the gathering in Portland, right? And now these new gatherers, these new paid signatures gatherers will be dispatched all throughout the rest of the state, you know, some of the other big cities throughout the state. So we're looking forward to that. Our phone lines are open at 971-533-7111, and we've got a call coming in right now from the 267 area code. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey, Russ, it's Dylan Budnick calling. I see that you're talking about New Approach.
Yeah.
I am currently working for New Approach.
Excellent.
So you're talking about outreach and signature gathering, and I tried to tweet to you today, but I couldn't. We're trying to do a thunderclap. So I was wondering if you would be able to share with your listeners and the people that follow you this thunderclap, because we're trying to get enough signatures.
All right.
Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a feedback. Sorry, I forgot to mute you. But yeah, so we're doing this thunderclap, and we're trying to get a bunch of signatures before the 20th so we can get onto the ballot. So I was just wondering if that's something that you could point people to, and I think we have probably the best shot of all three.
I agree. I agree. So, all right. So, are you saying thunder with a foxtrot or thunder with a Thor?
Thunder with a Thor.
Okay, thunderclap. All right. So we're gonna do a thunderclap. I guess I don't even know what that means because I'm old. What does that just mean? Like a big funding push kind of thing?
Well, funding would be great, but so what thunderclap basically is this allows us to, if we get 250 supporters we need, what will happen is you sign up on the thunderclap, you let them use your Twitter account. It's like an app you kind of install for your Twitter, or your Facebook, or your Tumblr if you're a Tumblr user. And what will happen is if we meet our goal on the day that, on the 19th, so in 6 days, if we meet our goal, this will go out at noon, and it'll basically tweet or share to your Facebook or your Tumblr our message, which is sign the petition to get marijuana legalization on the 2014 Oregon ballot. And it'll share the link to sign the petition, and it'll take you to our awesome online petition form where you can fill out our petition, and then you can mail it in, and you can add your signature if you haven't signed yet. I mean, I'm sure most of your followers have signed, but this is really great for outreach and to make other people aware that, hey, you can sign on online and print it out, and you can do it this way if you live somewhere where you haven't been able to sign or you haven't signed online yet.
All right. Well, I've just sent the link out through my Twitter account. I see Gothic Prophet in the chat room has got it in to our chat room as well. I'm on the site right now, thunderclap.it, and there's a Twitter link, there's a Facebook link, there's a Tumblr link. We'll send all of them out there for you.
Thanks, Russ. Love you, man. Have a great day, man.
All right.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th, and thanks for everything you're doing to get marijuana legalized in Oregon.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for everything you're doing. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, everybody is getting together on this. People are really excited here in the state of Oregon. I think folks are just really thrilled to have, big money support coming in, professional fundraisers, professional campaigning going on. And when this passes, it will be the most liberal legalization, not only in the country, but in the world. We're talking about 1 ounce of concentrates, 8 ounces of buds, 16 ounces of medibles, 72 ounces of tinctures, $1,250 commercial license at 3 stages, grower, processor, retailer. You can get all 3 licenses if you want, and a cap of $1.25 per gram in taxes. We are going to knock the bottom out of the marijuana market.
Continue the conversation with Radical Russ online. Visit radicalruss.com and email radicalruss@gmail.com.
Science! These are some of my old liners from my XM satellite radio days. God, I forgot how these broke down, but we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have a little time to talk about this week and maybe something to rant about. And at the end of the show, last half hour, the 420 radio drug test live from, well, not live, recorded live in Fort Worth this last weekend. We had a good time with this one. Mike Hyde and Tristan Tucker, leaders of the team. We're back after this.
You can get 420 Radio on the go with the TuneIn Radio app for all mobile platforms. Go to rad-r.us/420tunein or just click the TuneIn Radio icon below the live radio feed on 420radio.org. The Marijuana Business Association, or MJBA, are proud sponsors of the Russ Belville Show. It is the mission of the MJBA to establish integrity and legitimacy, create common market standards, provide market intelligence, and develop best ethical business practices for participants in the emerging legal marijuana industry, including commercial hemp, medical marijuana, and recreational marijuana for adults. Learn more about the Marijuana Business Association and visit mjba.net to join today. That's mjba.net. 420radio.net.
Hello. Hello. I am John. I'm Scott. We're from a cannabis broadcast, and you are listening to 420radio.org. Cheers.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, treat law enforcement with respect and stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney." Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at omarfigueroa.com.
Welcome back, everybody. That's music from Can't Stop the Daggers, simply entitled High. No, that's Daggers with a G, speed limit, not Dabbers. Although I suppose that's true, too. You can't stop the Dabbers. Speaking of dabbers, a month away, the 710 Cup out there in Colorado. Also, at the beginning of August will be the Denver County Fair, where they've doubled the size of the pot pavilion. We are going to send our own Priscilla Seibin out to these events to get some coverage for us for 420 Radio. Nice to have our intern Priscilla Seibin working for us there in Denver. All right, want to talk about this. A couple of things that have happened, right, in the news. One of them is the ban that we've got, well, virtual ban in San Jose on medical marijuana dispensaries. We also had that story we did out of Lake County in north central California, where they've banned all outdoor marijuana cultivation. That was based on, of course, the Live Oak case, where the city of Live Oak banned all marijuana cultivation. Indoor, outdoor, patient, didn't matter. All marijuana cultivation banned. And so far, the California Supreme Court, when it comes to these lawsuits about whether or not patients have a right to cultivate cannabis under Prop 215, the Supreme Court keeps coming back and saying, you ain't got no right. You ain't got no right to medical marijuana. All the Compassionate Use Act does is exempt you from criminal prosecution. Marijuana is still a crime. Having marijuana is a crime. Now, it's decriminalized in California, ounce or less, right? But roll with me here for a second, right? It's still illegal. Even decriminalized, marijuana is contraband. It is still cause for police to harass you, for police to suspect you of being a criminal. So the California Supreme Court has time after time come back and said you don't have a right to medical marijuana. You're just exempted from criminal prosecution. So when Live Oak wants to ban all marijuana cultivation, there's nothing that patients can do about it because they don't have a right. They just have an exemption. And the same thing goes here in San Jose, where they've now zoned it pretty much out of existence. Maybe 5, maybe 10 of these dispensaries in San Jose are going to be able to stay in business, right? And that's if they can meet all the rest of it, like the security requirements, 24-hour security and all that, which is probably pretty expensive, I imagine. So there's no right as far as California dispensaries. They're not technically legal. They're not legal under California law. Now, they're tolerated. They're taxed, certainly taxed. And sometimes people make that mistake too. Well, if they're taxed, they must be legal. No, the Supreme Court has said numerous times that you can tax illegal things. So this is a problem. And it just makes me go back about 5 years. Makes me go back to late 2009 and most of 2010, when the talk of the nation was around California's Prop 19 and passing marijuana legalization in California. And who were the loudest voices, aside from cops, aside from the DEA, who were the loudest voices fighting against Prop 19? Growers, medical marijuana growers, well, growers in general, and medical marijuana dispensaries, who openly campaigned against legalization, who put flyers in every bag of weed they sold, telling people how awful Prop 19 would be, how it would set up a monopoly in Oakland, how it would lead to the decimation of the medical marijuana business, medical marijuana supplies, how it would hurt patients, how a 5x5 garden was just too small. Just 5x5, why that's too small. How it was only 1 ounce, just one. That's not true legalization, it's only 1 ounce. Well, I bet those folks in Live Oak sure would like a 5x5 garden by now. I bet the folks in 23 California counties and over 60 cities, is it, that have some form of moratorium or ban might like to have a legal ounce, might like to have legal pot shops, might like to have a 5x5 garden. You know, I'm not saying this to exhibit schadenfreude or anything. I'm just saying that those of us on the Prop 19 side counseled the stoners against legalization and told them, look, you think that if you defeat this, things get better for medical marijuana? As we've seen, they got worse. As we saw, the Supreme Court upheld the right of cities to outright ban medical marijuana. In case after case, where everyone tries to pin their hopes on something being medical, pin their hopes on the right under the Compassionate Use Act, has gotten them nowhere. And it's sad that this is the way it had to happen. And it's my hopes that after we've gotten legalization in 4 states, Washington, Colorado, Alaska, and Oregon, that the people in California will finally recognize that, hey, you know what? We need to work together, not have 5 different groups working on 5 different legalization proposals. We need to all work together. Primarily, we need to work with the people who actually have the money and connections to make it happen. And work together means sometimes compromising. Work together means you might have to give up on unlimited plants and unlimited possession and $10 tax rates and setting free all the pot prisoners immediately. Working together might mean endorsing something more limited than you'd like so that you can get something passed, so that you do have the millions and millions of dollars flowing in that it is going to take to pass legalization in the nation's largest political market. If California fails in 2016, that could put an entire halt to the momentum of marijuana legalization. It's very important that Californians are paying attention to what's going on here and paying attention to what works in these campaigns, what will get the votes, and how people can work together. Meanwhile, we got guys in Washington and Colorado, attorneys, one of whom's a friend of mine, Douglas Hyatt. These attorneys who are fighting to get taxation of marijuana deemed unconstitutional. Now, I understand being a lawyer and having to fight for your client to have any sort of defense that can help them. But the long-term ramification of winning that sort of case means a significant blow to the progress of legalizing marijuana. Now, these states should want to legalize because, it's wrong to put human beings in a cage over a plant. I mean, that's what should motivate them. But we know what is motivating them lately are dollar signs. They see the money pouring in to Colorado. Millions of dollars in tax revenue where there was none before. Jobs created where there were none before. That's what's motivating them, the almighty dollar. So if these cases were successful and made it impossible for a state to tax marijuana until the federal government said it was okay, legalization could come to a screeching halt. Fortunately, I don't think these cases have much of a chance. The Supreme Court has already said you can tax illegal activities and illegal products So we shall see. Hey, folks, it's 4:20 here in the Pacific Time Zone on Friday the 13th. That's like good luck and bad luck all rolled up into one. We've got a safety meeting we got to get to, checking out some of our homegrown garden to make sure that it's perfectly safe. When we come back, we got Daily Toker Tunes, some music from Whoa Fat. You're listening to 420 Radio and the Russ Belville Show.
You can get 420 Radio on the go with the Ustream video app for Android and iPhone. Go to rad-r.us/420Ustream or just click the Ustream app icon for Android or iPhone below the live radio feed at 420radio.org. Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
NORML stands for Responsible Adult Cannabis Use. If cannabis use is causing problems in your life, consider taking a break or seeking medical assistance. Consider ceasing cannabis use if you have a family history of mental illness. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery while impaired by cannabis use. Cannabis use is not without risks, even though the risks may be far less than those posed by legal drugs.
Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Very effective. Check out LushLEDlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Rockin' Friday, featuring rock, metal, and the hard edge of alternative country. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tune.
Welcome back, everyone. 23 after the hour. Normally at this time we'd be joined by Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour, but he had to take the day off today to attend to family business. But he's got some music for us and wants to remind us he'll be here live for the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour at 8 p.m. Pacific time. We'll have some great metal and industry information. You know, Herb's tied in tight with a lot of these up-and-coming record labels and their bands, and so you get some of the information first about who's going to be appearing in the Pacific Northwest, what the latest album releases are, and even some of their new videos before you can see them anywhere else. Check us out tonight on the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour every Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, with replays Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and replays Friday at 5 p.m. as well. All right, so today's music comes to us, as we've been doing all week long. We've been bringing you coverage of the Texas Regional NORML Conference. We got a Texas band for you today from Dallas. They're called Whoa Fat, and they are a three-piece stoner rock, southern rock, Texas rock band. The quote here is that their goal was to create a music that is crushingly heavy, but that stays within the paradigm forged by Black Sabbath, Jimi Hendrix, ZZ Top, and other 70s greats. The tune is Lost Highway off the Black Code album from 2012 on Small Stone Records, and that's going to get us ready for tonight's Herb Thrasher Flower Hour, where we're previewing their next Tuesday release, their new album, The Conjuring, on Small Stone Records. Comes out on the 17th. It's their fifth full-length album, and it's just 5 tunes on the album. One of the tunes, Dreamwalker, is 17 minutes long. We're going to be playing 2 unheard tracks from the new album tonight on the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. This is Whoa Fat with Lost Highway.
420 Radio is 24-hour marijuana legalization radio. I'm Radical Russ Belville, and I want to thank you for listening to 420 Radio. We couldn't survive without you and our sponsors, and I'd like you to check out one of our prime sponsors, the National Cannabis Coalition. I've been working with NCC since June of 2012, and I'm proud to be part of the team they have assembled. National Cannabis Coalition is building the partnerships with reformers, lawmakers, and industry we need to be successful. Visit the National Cannabis Coalition website at nationalcannabiscoalition.com or the easier-to-remember ncc420.com. That's where you'll get the exclusive first look at my radical rants, as well as informative articles from the nation's top cannabis pundits. Visit ncc420.com today, and if you have your phone handy, text Russ to 420-420 to support NCC and 420 Radio. It's a free text message that helps us help you end adult marijuana prohibition. Learn more at ncc420.com, and thanks for supporting independent...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 420 Radio Drug Test. I'm your host, Alex Trebong. It's been billed as 420 Jeopardy, but I want to make it clear to Merv Griffin Enterprises that it is in no way a trademark infringement of Jeopardy or any Jeopardy-related products. It's actually a trademark infringement on Jeopardy, Family Feud, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Let's be clear about that. The Jeopardy part you can probably figure out. We've got 6 categories that we are going to be asking trivia questions about. Texas Tokers, reefer music, medical cannabis, pot and politics, sativa celebrities, and potpourri. But unlike Jeopardy, we're not competing for money, we're competing for weed. And so your questions, the easy questions, are swag and eighths, moving up to quarters, halves, ounces, 2 ounces, and the big stumper question, the quarter pounder. Now, the questions vary by their weight, and you can see that right here. 1/8 ounce questions are just true false. So you got a 50% chance, go for it. The quarter ounce questions are multiple choice A, B, C. It's going to be one of those choices. 1/2 ounce is A, B, C, D, and sometimes you got to put them in the right order. A little tougher. 1 ounce questions, you have to give me a direct answer. 2 ounce questions, there's usually 2 or more answers, a list that you have to give. And then, like I said, the quarter ounce questions are the stumper questions. Now, that's a lot like Jeopardy, except instead of playing 3 individual players, we play 3 teams. 2 teams of 3 players plus the man. So we will have Team Indica with Mike Hyde, who will be the captain of Team Indica, and Tristan Tucker, right? Yep. Tristan Tucker will be the captain of Team Sativa. They will also need 2 more people on their team, so we need 4 volunteers who want to win fabulous prizes. Right there, come on up. You're there, come on up. You're up. Who's one more, right over there. Okay, so 2 of you here, and 2 of you on the end chairs there. All right, Mike, you'd be here on this team. There you go. All right, so unlike Jeopardy, we're competing as teams, and each team alternates asking questions, but only one player gets to ask a question. So it might start with Mike. He goes and answers a question, gets it right. The next person on his team has control of the board and gets to go for a question. So one guy who's an expert can't dominate the game. If you get your question right, you get the weight. If you get your question wrong, the man gets the weight. Just like real life. In order for your team to win, you have to beat the other team, and it would be preferable if you could also beat the man. Now, that's the Family Feud aspect, is we do this in teams. And then the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire aspect is we have lifelines. An Ask the Audience lifeline, the person who's got the question can turn and ask you guys, and you can yell out whatever you think the answer is. Team answer means you can turn to the other 2 people on your team and try to get the answer. And Stump the Chumps means you pass the question to the other team, and they have to get it right, but all 3 of them get a chance to try to answer it. Now, the only other thing, we don't have daily doubles in this 420 radio. Instead, we have a type of question called Puff Puff Pass. A Puff Puff Pass question is where the one person from one team and the one person from the other team have to alternate answers until one person can't think of one. So that's kind of a challenging question. So there we go. We've got 3 pounds on the board. Are we ready to play the 420 Radio Drug Test? All right. So, I flipped a coin in my mind, and Tristan will get to start first for Team Indica. Tristan, pick a category and a weight. Oh, we need a mic for you guys, too. Did we have a mic? Yeah, let me give you that. Can you do that? It's up on the table. There you go. All right, so Tristan, you're up. A weight and a category.
I'll take a 1/4 ounce of sativa.
A 1/4 ounce of sativa celebs? Okay, 1/4 ounce in sativa celebs. Which of these celebrity pot smoking scandals occurred first? Miley Cyrus's Bob Marley birthday cake, Michael Phelps' bong smoking photo, or Fiona Apple's Texas tour bus?
C. What is C? Fiona Apple's Texas tour bus.
And we're not Jeopardy, so you don't have to answer in the form of a question.
Damn.
What happened first was the Michael Phelps bong photo from 2009. I'm sorry, you've missed the question, and that means that a 1/4 goes to the man. The man's got a 1/4 ounce now, it's still 2 ounces, and that passes on to Mike's team. Mike, you have control of the board for Team Sativa.
Let's do a 1/2 ounce of indica.
Half. Texas Tokers, reefer music, medical cannabis, pot and politics, sativa celebs, or potpourri.
Let's do Texas Tokers.
Texas Tokers for a 1/2. Which 8-term incumbent Texas politician ran anti-pot ads against a pro-pot challenger and lost his primary in 2012? Was it Glenn Lewis, Sylvester Reyes, Charlie Gonzalez, or Chris Bell?
Let's stump the chump.
Aha! All right, stump the chumps. Let's take that off the board for your team, Sativa. All 3 of you from Team Indica get a chance to answer the question, which once again is, which of those 4 men lost his 8-term incumbency by running anti-pot ads? A. I'm sorry, the answer is B. Sylvester Reyes lost to Beto O'Rourke. That means, once again, the man gets that 1/2. Texas Tokers for a 1/2 goes to the man. But we go back to the Team Indica. Tristan, the next person on your team has the board. And tell us your name, please.
Matthew.
Matthew.
Medical cannabis, 8th.
Medical cannabis for an 8th. Which has more state-registered medical marijuana patients, Michigan or California?
California.
Trick question, California does not have a state registry. Michigan does have 135,267 patients as of April 2013. Unfortunately, that 8th goes to the man who's now up to 7/8 of an ounce. We go back to Mike's team, next person on your team, and your name, please.
Audie.
Audie, go ahead and pick.
We'll do pot in politics for a 1/4, please.
Pot in politics for a 1/4. Which of these states has the lowest threshold for a marijuana possession felony? Florida, Oklahoma, or Idaho? In other words, the least amount of weed that will get you a felony.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
Sorry, that's Florida. 20 grams, 3/4 of an ounce is a felony, which forfeits your right to vote for life. Boy, pot in politics for a 1/4. It's a tough board. Maybe start with some swag.
Potpourri, swag. Oh, Mike.
Mike, all right. Potpourri for swag. True or false? The dude abides.
False.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's true. The dude does abide. Oh, no. That's more for the man on the swag. Pass back to the other team. And your name, please?
I'm Zach.
Zach?
Yeah, let's go with Texas Toker swag.
Texas Toker for swag. True or false? Joints are bigger in Texas.
True.
That is true. Everything is bigger in Texas. Duh. That's a swag for Team Sativa. You now have an 1/8 ounce, and you maintain control of the board. Mike, you're up.
Let's do a swag sativa celebs.
Swag and sativa celebs. True or false? Willie Nelson once smoked a joint on the roof of the White House.
True.
That is true during the Carter presidency in September 1980 with Carter's son Chip. So you win the swag in Sativa Celebs, and you still have control of the board. Oh, wait a minute. You guys are Indica. And I put the wrong team down for that other one, so let me fix that. No, wait. I had it right. Sativa's the one closest to me. My apologies. I had a safety meeting earlier. You have the board.
All right, we'll go with Reefer Music Swag.
Reefer Music for swag. Which instrument is stonier, a sitar or an accordion?
A sitar.
Well, the sitar, obviously. All right, so we've got another 8. They're collecting all the swag. You're up.
All right, let's go with 8 of Texas Tokers.
8 of Texas Tokers. Which population is larger, Texans or annual adult pot smokers in America?
We're going to say Texans.
Sorry, there's more Tokers than Texans.
Well, that's still good.
All right, so that one goes to the man, and that turns us over to the other team. Team Indica, you have the board.
We do swag for medical cannabis.
Medical cannabis for swag. True or false? According to the federal government, marijuana has no recognized medical value in the United States.
True.
That is true, despite 22 states and D.C. recognizing medical value. That's swag for Team Indica. You're on the board.
Swag for Pot and Politics.
Pot and Politics for swag. True or false? The draft versions of the Constitution and Declaration of Independence were written on hemp paper.
True.
That is true. The final copies in the National Archives are on parchment, but hemp paper was used for making the drafts. So once again, Pot and Politics, you win the swag. And you have the board.
Sativa Celebs 8.
Sativa Celebs for an 8th. Which one is older, Cheech or Chong?
Chong.
That's right, Tommy Chong is older. He's 1 year younger than marijuana prohibition. You win Sativa Celebs for the 8th with Team Indica, and you still have the board.
We do Pot and Politics for an 8th.
Pot and Politics for an 8th. True or false? African Americans are more likely to have smoked pot than Caucasians.
False.
False. 53% of white people have never smoked pot, while 59% of black people have never smoked pot. However, black people are 4 to 7 times more likely to be arrested for smoking pot. So, you get potpourri. I'm sorry, yeah, potpourri for an 8th, was that? No, Pot and Politics, excuse me. You get the Indica, and you have the board.
Potpourri for an 8th.
Potpourri for an 8th. Oh wait, that was the one you did. I'm sorry. Once again. You got it. There we go. Put that back to Team Indica, and again, you have the board.
Pot and Politics for an 8th.
Pot and Politics for an 8th. Any citizen, true or false, any citizen of the United States can start a petition to get a marijuana legalization initiative on his or her state ballot.
False.
False. Less than half of the states in America do not allow direct citizen democracy. Indica gets the 8th. And you have the board.
Sativa Celebs half.
Sativa Celebs for a half. Which of these pop divas has not recently advocated for marijuana? Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Rihanna, or Melissa Etheridge? Not advocated for marijuana.
D.
I'm sorry, it's Katy Perry. Gaga and Rihanna are well known for smoking off stage and on, and Melissa Etheridge is a high-profile supporter of medical marijuana. Sativa Celebs for a half goes to the man, and the board goes to Team Sativa.
Let's go with half Reefer Music.
Reefer Music for a half. Put these famous marijuana songs in chronological order from the oldest to the newest. Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg, Don't Bogart Me, Don't Bogart That Joint by Fraternity of Man, Mary Jane by Rick James, and Sweet Leaf by Black Sabbath. Which one was the earliest to the latest?
C. Then D, then B, then A.
C, D, B, A. Oh, I'm sorry, Don't Bogart Me is the oldest of the tunes, but D, C, Mary Jane 78, and Gin and Juice 1994. Reefer Music for a half goes to the man, and the board goes back to Team Indica.
Can we get Pot and Politics, the half?
Half ounce of Pot and Politics. Which of these prohibitions occurred first? The 18th Amendment prohibiting alcohol, the Marijuana Tax Act prohibiting cannabis, the Harrison Tax Act prohibiting opium, and the Controlled Substance Act prohibiting all illicit drugs. Which one was the first?
C.
The answer C, Harrison Act, is correct. 1915, opium was first prohibited, alcohol 1920, cannabis 1937, all drugs 1973. That half ounce goes to Team Indica, and you still have the board.
Can I get a quarter for medical cannabis?
Medical cannabis for a quarter. Which one of these conditions has not been shown to be treatable with medical marijuana? Multiple sclerosis, Crohn's disease, or boogie fever?
Boogie fever.
That's right, boogie fever, one of the only conditions marijuana is known to exacerbate. That's a quarter for Team Indica. You have the board.
Do a quarter, no, an eighth for Reefer Music.
Reefer Music for an eighth. True or false, the Chicago song 25 or 6 to 4 is a reference to 420 before 420 became popular.
False.
That's right, it's false. It refers to the time 25 or 26 minutes before 4 in the morning. But you can smoke pot then if you like. So, Reefer Music for an eighth goes to Team Indica, and you still have the board.
We get Potpourri for a quarter.
Potpourri for a quarter. Which form of marijuana reform has the highest registered public opinion poll support nationwide? Legalization, medical marijuana, or decriminalization?
Yeah, B.
B, medical marijuana, 88% support nationwide, 84% on decrim, 58% for legalization. You win the quarter in Potpourri. Team Indica, you're still with it.
Can I get a quarter for Reefer Music?
Reefer Music for a quarter. Which one of these 1960s pop icons recorded an anti-marijuana public service ad? Was it Jim Morrison, Sonny Bono, or Neil Sedaka?
Neil Sedaka.
I'm sorry, it's Sonny Bono, and it's hilarious. All right, so that quarter ounce goes to the man, but Team Sativa now has the board.
Texas Tokers for a quarter.
Texas Tokers for a quarter. Which Texas politician ran for the Republican nomination for President of the United States calling for an end to marijuana prohibition? George W. Bush, Ron Paul, or Rick Perry?
Let me think about that one. It's so hard. B, please.
Ron Paul is correct. And you get the quarter. And you still control the board.
Let's go half of medical cannabis.
For a half, medical cannabis. Which one of these medical cannabis states allows the most mature flowering plants to be grown per patient? Vermont, Oregon, Michigan, or New Mexico?
I'm going to say Oregon.
I'm sorry, it's Michigan, 12 plants. Oregon allows you 24, but only 6 of them can be mature. So that goes to the man, medical cannabis for a half, and Team Indica has the board. Now it's getting tough.
Let me get Potpourri for a half.
Potpourri for a half. Place these countries in order from the largest prison population to the smallest prison population. And you still have lifelines, by the way.
B, C, D, A.
B, C, D, A. B, D, C, A. Close. Close. But keep in mind, China has 1.3 billion people, and India has 1 billion. And we still have more prisoners than they do.
The state of Louisiana has more.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, the state of Louisiana, exactly. So that was Potpourri for a half. We have to give that to the man. Now, as the questions get tough here in the upper levels, remember you still have Ask the Audience, Team Answer, and Indica still has Stump the Chumps. Sativa, you're on the board.
Let's do medical cannabis, quarter pound.
Medical cannabis, quarter pound. Cannabis was listed in the U.S. Pharmacopoeia as a medicine until 1941. Within 5 years, for how many years was cannabis officially considered a medicine and listed in that book?
Ask the audience.
Ask the audience. Anybody want to hazard? So yell out some guesses as to how many years you think medical marijuana, medical cannabis was legal in America up until 1941.
5 years. 80 years. 61. 61. This is not a
And remember, the key is listed in the book as a medicine. All right, we need an answer.
21 years. 80. 0.
Let's go with 80.
Answer is 80. 91 years. From 1850 to 1941, we'd have taken 86 to 96. Quarter pound, medical cannabis going to the man. Team Indica on the board.
Pot and politics for a quarter pound.
Pot and politics for a quarter pound. This Carter administration official was the advisor on drug policy who was outed as using cocaine at a normal party in the late 1970s. Name him.
We gotta ask the audience on this one.
Ask the audience.
Does anybody know?
Anybody who was born before the 80s.
Yell them out again.
Hamilton, Georgia. Peter Carter. Hamilton, Georgia.
What? Larry, I can't hear you.
Hamilton, Georgia.
What he said.
Peter Bourne is correct. Team Indica gets a quarter pound in pot and politics. And you still have the board.
Let me get an ounce with Texas Toker.
Texas Tokers for an ounce. This Texas firebrand had a hit country western song with "They Ain't Making Jews Like Jesus Anymore" and picked up 12.6% of the vote as an independent candidate for Texas governor. Who is he? And you still have lifelines.
What were the other lifelines?
You still have Team Answer and Stump the Chumps.
Kinky Friedman?
That's right, it's Kinky Friedman. Good thing we got that one right. And that's for Team Indica. You still have the board.
Okay, get the quarter pound Sativa Celeb.
Sativa Celebs for a quarter pound. This famous 1930s band leader sang about a cast of characters in Harlem with nicknames for their drug use. He later sang his most famous song about a moocher in the 1980 movie The Blues Brothers. Name him. And your team still has a Team Answer and Stump the Chumps. Team Answer? Stump the Chumps. All right. Team Indica, you can, or Team Sativa, the three of you can all collaborate on this. Who was that band leader?
God, I don't have a clue on this one. I'm going to go with Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg is incorrect. Folks, here's a story about Minnie the Moonshine. Cab, the Heidi-Ho Man Calloway is the man's name.
Oh, yeah.
4-ounce sativa celebs goes to the man. And we lose these Stump the Chumps. Team. Oh, you didn't have it. Oh, you had the Stump. Right, all right. So Team Indica still has the board.
Can I get an ounce of pot in politics?
Ounce of pot in politics. Who is the current president of the U.S. Senate who ushered in mandatory minimum sentencing in the 1980s and wrote the bill creating the Drug Czar's office?
He's the current president?
Current president of the U.S. Senate.
So Biden.
Joe Biden is correct. The vice president is the president of the Senate. When he was a senator, he got mandatory minimums in the Drug Czar's office created. So, pot in politics for an ounce goes to Team Indica, and you still have the board.
Let me get an ounce of potpourri.
An ounce of potpourri. The puff puff pass question, ladies and gentlemen. Each contestant must take turns and name a pot-themed movie without repeating one until one contestant cannot answer it in 3 seconds. Team Indica, go. Pot movie. 1, 2, 3.
Friday.
No, other team. Pass the other team. They have to answer. Pot movie. 1.
Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke. Next team.
Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Cheech and Chong's next movie. Next team.
Cheech and Chong, Things Are Tough All Over.
All right. Next team.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
There we go. Next team.
Fast Times at Richmond High.
There we go. Next team.
The Reefer Man.
The Reefer Man. I'm sorry, we don't have the Reefer Man in our list, but here's some that you could have answered. You got some of these as well. Big Lebowski, Pineapple Express. All right, so who was the last one that got the correct answer? Team Sativa? All right, Team Sativa, you win that puff puff pass of an ounce, and you have the board.
Please don't go big.
We'll do Reefer Music for an ounce.
Reefer Music for an ounce. While perhaps best known for Hello Dolly and What a Wonderful World, this jazz trumpeter was also one of the first American celebrities to openly celebrate marijuana use. Name him.
Is that Mr. Louis Armstrong?
That's correct. Louis Satchmo Armstrong. You win the ounce for Team Sativa. And you have the board.
We'll go with Texas Tokers for 2 ounces.
Texas Tokers for 2 ounces. Willie Nelson is a living Texas legend who has been a longtime supporter of NORML. Name 2 places in Texas where he has been arrested for marijuana.
East Texas and West Texas.
Need more specific. Cities, please. Thank you for the correction. I'll make that say cities on the next version.
We'll go with Abilene and Austin.
Abilene and Austin. 1974, Dallas. 1994, Waco. And 2010 in Sierra Blanca. Also 2006 in St. Martin Parish, Louisiana, while he was driving on his way to former Texas Governor Ann Richards' funeral. All right, so Sativa, 2 ounces. 2 ounces, excuse me, goes to, Texas Tokers, I'm sorry, Texas Tokers goes to the man.
Let me get an ounce of sativa celebs.
Ounce of sativa celebs. This daily pot smoker and host of Cosmos was a genius. He was literally a rocket scientist and was tasked with creating a message in a bottle for the Voyager spacecraft to tell alien civilizations about the human race and Earth. Name him. Team answer.
Carl Sagan.
That's right, Carl Sagan, host of PBS series Cosmos, because